Good morning, everyone. My name is Marvin Miles, and this is my presentation on the National Electrical Code revisions for 2017. And one of the main things that they did in this revision was they streamlined Article 690, solar PV systems. So they were able to reduce Article 690 by nearly 30%. And while doing so, they increased the rapid shutdown section to 9 times greater than what it was in 2014. So in order to reduce by 30%, but also add more items, they had to reorganize Article 690 as a whole. And what they did was they created new articles, such as Article 706, 710, and 712. So these articles before in 2014 were all a part of Article 690, and now they divided them up and made them their own separate entity so that Article 690 can be specific to solar PV systems. They also removed Article 692 and 694 to reduce the size of Article 690. So one of the main things that they did was they redefined the PV system disconnect. So they did this because when they went out and talked to different solar installers, there seemed to be discrepancies about where the solar system starts and where it ends. So what they did was they just redefined what a PV solar disconnect is. And their definition is that a PV system disconnect is the disconnecting means that separate the PV system conductors from all other conductors associated with all other electrical systems. So essentially, it should be PV system disconnect, all other electrical systems, right? So if you walk up to a PV system, what you think is a PV system disconnect, and you look towards the PV system and there are other conductors and equipment, then you're not at the disconnect. You need to move closer towards the PV system, and then you'll find the PV system disconnect. So on the right over here are some images of different solar system configurations, and it just goes into depth with 3 of the main types: the DC coupled multi-mode system, an AC system, a coupled system, and then a standalone system. And it shows in red where the PV system disconnect should be. So for another thing that they did was they defined what functional grounding is. So now they classified it, and they said a functional grounded system is one that has an electrical reference to ground that is not solidly grounded. So before, for the last 2 decades, solar installers would say that they would physically ground it as a functional grounded system, and say that it was a grounded system to kind of circumvent and get around ASJs coming in and red flagging their installation. So now there's no need to meander and maneuver around specific terminology, because they defined functional grounding, which is what installers have been doing. So this makes it safer for different installers and different people coming out to do maintenance or first responders, because now they know exactly what's going on with the system. There's no hidden agenda, and there's no everything is upfront. And it also allows for a unified approach to grounding, where they can now say, it's functional grounded, and then they have one set of specifications for functional grounding instead of multiple for different variations. So another major change, revision that they did was rapid shutdown. So Article 690.12, it says that equipment that performs the rapid shutdown functions other than initiation devices such as listed disconnect switches, circuit breakers, or control switches shall be listed and labeled for providing rapid shutdown protection. So this is essentially saying that all of the equipment needs to be labeled and listed for rapid shutdown protection. So there's got to be a plaque or directory near the shutdown, which describes what is still energized and what isn't still energized after the initial rapid shutdown. So it's got the conductors inside of the array boundary have to be limited to less than 80 volts within 30 seconds of the initiation of the rapid shutdown. So this picture on the bottom kind of describes what the label and list should look like. So it shows that on the left side of the image, it shows that the dotted line around the PV system, and that means that that system is still energized even after rapid shutdown. And the one on the right shows there's no dotted line, so that as soon as you rapid shut down, there's no more energy coming to the system. And this is good for safety, for installs, and if there's an emergency, first responders, because looking at this, they can see, hey, you know, if I do this, the whole system's off or not, or what parts are still energized, and they can best manage the situation and either fix what needs to be fixed or do whatever they need to do to be a good first responder in order to get access to the building without harming themselves or causing further damage. So the National Electrical Code, Article 706 for the energy storage system, it basically has everything in there pertaining to energy storage systems. It has DC coupled system, AC coupled system, standalone systems, maximum power, maximum voltage, maximum current, all these different specifications to everything that's included within the energy storage system. So the scope is that this article applies to all permanently installed energy storage systems operating over 50 volts AC or 60 volts DC that may be standalone or interactive with other electrical power production sources. So these are two images of energy storage systems and different batteries that are included within the energy storage system scope. So 3 requirements of Article 706. The first one is Article 706.7, disconnecting means, and it states that a disconnecting means shall be provided for all ungrounded conductors derived from an energy storage system. A disconnecting means shall be readily available, accessible, and located within sight of the energy storage system. So all this is saying is that there's got to be a disconnect within the line of vision of your storage system. And a disconnect is just an on and off switch that stops all power and energy from going to a conductor. So this top right image over here is just an example of a disconnect with like just a red lever with an on and off switch. The second requirement that I thought was important was 706.5, which is equipment. And it says that all of the equipment has to be listed. So this is huge for safety because you know, every solar system is different, and some have different components than others. So the fact that all of the components need to be listed and easily accessible is great for first responders who need to come in if there's a fire, or for people coming in to do maintenance. They know exactly what to shut off and where, how many components are there, and then is to be aware of so that they can do their job safely. And the last one is 706.6, multiple systems. This states that multiple EES energy storage systems shall be permitted to be installed in or on a single building or structure. So this is essentially saying there's no limit to how many storage systems you can have in one building. So this bottom picture on the right shows that there's a huge wind farm, and all of that power is being stored in this one building that has rows and rows of energy storage systems. So there's no limit to how many storage systems you can have. And these are my references. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.